Hi, I'm Rebecca Bottoms. I have been teaching for 15 years. I'm going on my 16th year. I have taught 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, and currently I am focusing on just science in 4th grade. So I work with struggling students, I work with the bilingual students, I work with the ESL students, and then also the students who unfortunately have not passed STAR yet. So the strategy I'm going to teach you today is called Science Interactive Word Walls, but you can use this for all subjects. So Science Interactive Word Wall is pretty close to an anchor chart. However, it is made directly with the students, by the students, and using their actual handwriting. So I've given you part of a model. I'm going to model interactive word walls in a little bit, but this is used for an entire unit. So we have our teak up on the wall, whatever the teak is for whatever subject it is. And we're going to keep referring to this throughout the whole unit so that the students understand the vocabulary that they're going to see throughout the unit. So when we are doing a science lesson, we focus on the 5E model. So they start with the engage part of the lesson, and then they do the explore. The explore is where they learn the material. They experiment with it, they figure it out. Then we get to the explain. And instead of just taking notes, the kids are actually making the interactive word wall. This replaces anything you would do in the explore lesson. For example, a couple days ago they did a magnetic lesson. They figured out what was magnetic and what was non-magnetic. They made a chart in their journal. They took a lot of notes. And then when we got to the explain part of the lesson, the kids would come up with the wording that's important to them. And so for this model, I just made it. They had magnetic, and the words they used was that it sticks with things made of iron, it's attracted to it, and then they did the things that were not magnetic, and then they actually gave the examples from their model, from their lesson. So they would say, the fork is plastic because it does not stick to a magnet. Therefore, it is not magnetic. So every day we would review, and then we would expand on it. Today, when I'm modeling the lesson, we are going to be using sentence starters. So instead of them having to come up with their wording on their own, they're going to use something called a CER. A C stands for claim. What do you claim? So I claim that this paperclip is magnetic. And then they have to explain the why. That's the evidence. So I'm going to say, I claim that a paperclip is magnetic because it sticks to things made of iron. The R is the reasoning. Why do you think that? So you say, my claim is valid because I know things that are magnetic stick to things made of iron and they are attracted to each other. That is the purpose behind the content of what they learned. So now we know that this is magnetic, and they know why. They know it's magnetic because it stuck to something that was made from iron. Other things that you need to know, interactive word walls have to be in some type of graphic organizer. So this is a very common one I use. This is for physical properties. It could be used in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade. You would just extend every single year what topics that are included in your teak. Then you have to figure out how it's organized. Here's another example of one for 6th grade, focusing on the different types of energy. We have our teak, and this is obviously a small model. We have the different types of energy, advantages, and disadvantages, and then this would be filled out with the kids as they explore each different type of energy. I also have their sentence stems. Blank is an advantage of blank energy because, and then you could add my claim is valid because. This is very important. If you don't have your teak and your sentence stems, then you are not getting as much bang for your buck in your lesson. This idea of interactive word walls came from a lady named Julie Jackson who works at Texas State, and she has 2 free websites that are amazing that she shares with all of her teachers, and here are their links. I think you're going to be using this later in your lesson, but here they are: www.thesciencetoolkit.com, and on Facebook it's called Science Toolkit. There are amazing already examples of interactive word walls that you can take and make your own. Some of them are perfect and they relate to the new teaks in science. Some of them are the old teaks, so you have to modify based on your specific teaks. But there are also examples of math, writing, and for lower grades and even into middle school and high school. Now I'm going to model for you an interactive word wall lesson with students. Hi, we are now going to model an interactive science word wall. This is a 5th grade TEK. So with the students that I have right in front of me, I'm going to go over with them what we have been working on today. So today's TEK is classifying matter based on measurable, testable, and observable physical properties. And so earlier, before we did the interactive word wall, we would have actually been doing the activity today, which is the physical property of the ability to conduct or insulate on electrical energy. So that is the focus of our TEK today. Up to now, we have a pretend interactive word wall that is completely filled out. And today we're going to be filling out the last part of our interactive word wall based on our physical property TEK. And it is the ability to conduct and insulate electrical energy. So today they took an electrical circuit and they tested to see what objects actually turned on the light bulb and which ones did not. So now we're to the point of the explain, where we're going to connect this with our vocabulary. So the first word that we are going to talk about is what actually made the light bulb light up, and that is a conductor. Can everyone show me the motion for conductor? And a conductor lets electricity flow. So let's do it together. A conductor lets electricity flow. So, Luke, can you please write down on a sentence strip the definition of conductor and what it means. A conductor does what? It lets electricity flow. So the most important part in an interactive word wall is that the kids are taking ownership by doing the writing themselves. And he needs, how do we spell conductor? So we also have a word wall, just the plain word wall with the words that they need to help spell. So we'll put it right here so we can still see it. So a conductor lets electricity flow. And I have my tape all ready, so all I have to do is connect it. Use the same side. Stay on the same side. And just put it underneath it. Just put it underneath it. Right here. Perfect. So the hardest part about doing an interactive word wall with the kids' writings is that we're using the kids' writing. And it may not look beautiful, but the kids are all going to know that a conductor lets the electricity flow because it's in their own words. Okay, so who has an example of a conductor? Okay, Maddie, can you tell me what you have and tell me why? Now, to help you, I'm going to use a sentence stem. And we're using a sentence stem that says it has a claim, it has our evidence, which is our because, and then our reasoning. My claim is valid because. And so I'm going to put this up there, and I'm going to point to the words, especially at the beginning, to help the students figure out exactly what they need to say. So Maddie, I'm going to help you out.
I claim a metal tip is an example of a conductor of electricity because
Look up here. Because a conductor
lets electricity flow.
Perfect.
My claim is
Valid
because it's made of metal.
Perfect. And you know what? We need to add that to our chart. Can you write the word metal? M-E-T-A-L. And so now Maddie's never going to forget that metal is a conductor. M-E-T-A-L. Perfect. So now we have conductors let electricity flow, and they are made from metal. They are always made of metal. Okay, that's perfect. So pick up your metal tip. Right over here. And you're going to come tape it right up here.
Right under the word metal?
Right underneath the word metal.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to put it right here?
Anywhere you want.
Okay.
So you can also see I have the actual object, as much as you can, the actual object, and I've written the word underneath it. Okay, who has something else that is a conductor? Okay, Luke. Luke,
Dime.
the what?
Dime.
A dime. Can you use your sentence and tell me your
I
CER?
claim a dime is an example of a conductor of electricity because it is metal. My claim is value because it's a dime.
Well, no, not it's a dime, because let's use our interactive word wall, and that's exactly what the kids are going to do. So, because it's a conductor, because a conductor,
Lets electricity flow.
perfect. Okay, get a piece of tape and come put it up.
Oh, where do I get tape at? Oh, tape. I see tape. Okay.
Okay, and Jacob, can you give me an example of a conductor?
Battery.
Okay, please give me your CER.
I claim a battery is an example of a conductor of electricity because conductors let electricity flow. My claim is flawless because it's metal.
It's metal, perfect. Okay, you can put yours up there. We're gonna move on to the next part of the lesson.
I have a question.
Yes, Maddie.
What is a EPC?
Oh, a CER. That's a good question. A C is the claim. So what are you saying? So the claim in this is that it's a conductor of electricity. The E is your evidence. So how did you know it was a conductor? I know it's a conductor because I saw the light bulb light up, or it's made of metal. And the R is your reasoning. So why did you think that? I thought that because I saw the electricity turn on, or I know because it was made of metal. Now, after they've practiced this numerous times as a class, they're going to be doing it as partners, and then they'll eventually be doing this in writing. Okay, so let's quickly do an insulator. An insulator stops the flow. Let's see, Jacob, can you do that? An insulator stops the flow, and here is how we spell insulator. Make sure that word is spelled correctly. And while they're waiting, we can practice again. Let's do an insulator stops the flow, and a conductor lets the electricity flow. Look at your items. Look at your T-chart from your experiment. What items do you have that are insulators? And think about why. Practice your sentence for an insulator.
Is this an insulator?
Okay, think about it. Is it made of metal?
No.
So what's it going to have to be? It's going to have to be a insulator. Okay, and we're going to do one sentence together, but we would continue doing this as a class, and then they would practice with partners, and they would eventually have to do a CER in writing on their own for a conductor and an insulator. So let's do one together. Let's see. Maddie, what do you have?
I have a
Where's
puppy.
yours?
A puppy figure.
A puppy figure. And what's your puppy made from?
Maybe wood.
Maybe wood. Okay. So let's get our vocabulary up there. An insulator stops the flow. And so it's going to be made something not of metal. Okay, so let's do this together. Ready? Everyone's going to do it with me. I claim the puppy, and we'll hold it up there. The puppy is an example of an insulator because it stops the flow. My claim is valid because it is not made from metal. Now, everything that they need for these interactive word walls for their sentences is going to be up here. So instead of having to come up with words from their memory, it is all right here. And this is great for our ELL learners because they're scared to talk. And if they have these words and we've practiced it over and over again and they've practiced the sentence frames, because these sentence frames get used over and over again, they get a lot more comfortable presenting. And it has made huge gains in my students speaking and in their writing. They can do CERs now, completely on their own, as long as they have their interactive word walls up on the wall to help them. I hope this is a great strategy. Thank you.